Hi, dear language learners. Today I bring to you one of the most common false beliefs about fluency. Language fluency actually is commonly, and this is like an elephant in the room, believed to be something that comes with years of study, with years of grammar, with years of vocabulary, and only if you are almost at the C level of language learning can you then speak fluently, which is completely wrong. Today, I'm going to deconstruct what it actually means to be fluent. And if you've watched my last video with a fellow polyglot who also speaks four languages, we both had this exact same experience. Actually, fluency starts from A1 level. And so I'm going to show you what A1 fluency means with three really useful exercises that you can easily integrate into your daily study, 5 minutes per day in your target language, that actually make you fluent at whatever level you are. So A, B, C, meaning, as you know, the A is the beginner's level, B the intermediate, and C the experienced level. You can already be fluent and talking to engaging in social interaction with fluent speakers on A1 level. So A1 is the discovery stage when you just get to know the new language. I'm going to illustrate that to you, so bear with me. These next 10 minutes might completely change the way in which you view fluency. Hi, and welcome to the channel. I'm Dr. Alex. I'm a social psychologist. I am a language coach, and I'm also a polyglot. I speak four languages, and that would be English, German, Spanish, and French. And I'm currently learning Italian as my fifth language. And I share on this channel all the best social psychology hacks you can get for a mindset that brings you fluency so much quicker. So also, if you would like to support my work, I invite you to click on the subscribe button, put a little like on this video, and also drop me a comment, because what my aim is as well is to have a conversation going about our experiences of learning languages, because learning languages is so much fun. It enriches our lives. It actually has us experience a different way of thinking, a different way of reasoning. It gives us access to a new culture. So why would we struggle with this? Why would we not just enjoy it and have fun with it? So let's start. I'm going to explain, first of all, what is A1 fluency, and then I'm going to show you these three exercises that I use and that actually fits so nicely in my day. Remember my previous videos, I have also explained what it means to have a study routine that is totally integrated into your everyday life routine. It needs to be something that doesn't create obligation. It needs to be short, simple, and fun, so that you always go back to it as your little language learning retreat. Now, what is A1 fluency? A1 fluency means even if you're just discovering the language, you should be able to already speak and engage in simple conversations with fluent speakers, at least to greet them, to ask how they are, to say thank you and please, to go into a shop and greet them in the language and then say something like, "Can you help me, please?" At least have that first icebreaker in the new language. You might, of course, then switch back. If it's more complex topics to talk about, of course, you then can ask the person if they also speak another language. I mean, the ideal situation is if they don't. So then you can really practice. But what I'm saying is afluency is it actually fluency actually starts with the beginner's level. So it's actually the inverse of what is always believed. I mean, the common belief is that it's like grammar, vocabulary grammar for years, and then fluency at the end. It's actually, you need to turn that upside down completely. It's actually speaking, mistakes, speaking, and then grammar perfection very much at the end. So like, I expect to have a really, really clumsy Italian for years before I, maybe in 3 years' time, have a perfection of the grammar, because grammar comes last. Grammar is so important to actually look up, oh, what should I have said instead of saying that, but only if you have made the experience of speaking it. The order needs to be changed. So I'm not saying grammar is not important. I'm saying actually the order you need to change around. So first speak it, make those mistakes, engage in something meaningful, and then look up the grammar. So A1 fluency means, for example, if you're studying Spanish, you need to be at an A1 level. You need to be able to say "Buenos días, ¿cómo estás?" And if somebody asks you back, "Muy bien, gracias, ¿y tú?" You need to be able to say, "Estoy muy bien, gracias." Something like that. You need to be able to greet and engage in a formal taking or getting into contact with people. That is what is A1 fluency is about. Now, and I hear the frequent asked question always is, but what does it serve me to know that if I can't continue the conversation? Well, it serves you to get already in the flow of pronunciation. It's like practicing an instrument. If you don't start to practice your first chords with the new instrument, you will never get used to the sound and also developing your new identity in the language. You need to start speaking from day one in very simple structures. So the first exercise actually is the 1 minute talk challenge. So choose something that you want to really do in your next situation in the target language. For example, in my case, I always learn greetings first. First of all, I want to say, hi, how are you? I'm fine as well. How's your day going? That one is essential. You can also pick other things, like, for example, the 1 day, yes, of course. The 1 minute speaking challenge can be about your morning routine. It can also be about practicing what you want to do the next day, what you did yesterday. You pick something that is fun to you. You need to think, okay, what do I love speaking about? And that one will be the 1 minute. So let's, as always, illustrate. I will do my 1 minute challenge today with ChatGPT. I have my mobile phone here and I will switch on the voice mode of ChatGPT to illustrate. Hi, ChatGPT, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. How can I help you today?
Today we're going to do a 1 minute speaking challenge in my next language, which is Italian. Could we just have a nice, first of all, greeting in Italian, like you greet me, I greet you, then we ask how are you, how's your day going, and we try to keep that going for about 1 minute.
Sure, let's do that. Ciao, come stai? Come va la tua giornata?
Ciao, molto bene, grazie. E tu?
Anche io sto bene, grazie. Cosa hai fatto oggi?
Oggi ho fatto una passeggiata con mi cane, con il mio carne? No, con il mio cane. No, carne.
Che bello! Una passeggiata con il cane è sempre una buona idea. Dove siete andati?
Um, oh my God, help me out here. How do I say we went?
Per dire we went in italiano, puoi dire siamo andati.
Ah.
Quindi potresti dire siamo andati al parco o siamo andati in spiaggia.
Siamo andati al parco en la mañana. No, this is in la mattina. How do you say in the morning?
Perfetto! In the morning si dice la mattina in italiano. Quindi hai detto siamo andati al parco in la mattina. Ottimo! Com'è
Okay.
stato il tempo?
Okay, wait. I will repeat that sentence. Siamo andati in el parque, help me with the prepositions here. In la mattina?
Certo, la frase corretta è siamo andati al parco la mattina. Ecco la pronuncia. Siamo andati al parco la mattina.
Okay,
Prova a ripetere le...
yes, thank you. I will repeat. Okay. Siamo andati al parque la mattina.
Perfetto, ottimo lavoro. Continua così, stai migliorando molto. Puoi
Grazie.
continuare la
Uh,
domande?
yes, I would first of all like to repeat from the beginning. Can you ask me again? I mean, can we greet and ask me how I am and what I have done?
Certo, iniziamo di nuovo. Ciao, come stai? Come va la tua giornata?
Ciao, sto bene, grazie. E tu?
Anche io sto bene, grazie. Cosa hai fatto oggi?
Oggi ho fatto una passeggiata con il mio cane al parco.
Che bello, una passeggiata al parco con il cane è sempre piacevole.
Sì,
Com'è stato il tempo?
come è stato il tempo? Ok, il tempo è stato molto bello.
Ottimo, una giornata di sole rende tutto più piacevole. Hai altre attività in programma per oggi?
Per oggi ho pensato di fare una gira in bicicletta, bicicletta? Come se, how do you pronounce bicycle?
La parola bicycle in italiano si dice bicicletta. La pronuncia
Bicicletta.
è bicicletta. Quindi hai detto ho pensato di fare una gita in bicicletta. Ottimo.
Una gita in bicicletta, no? Es gira?
Sì, esatto. Gita è una parola perfetta per descrivere un'escursione o un viaggio. Quindi una gita in bicicletta va benissimo. Buon divertimento.
Ah, grazie, mille grazie e buona giornata a te.
Prego, buona giornata anche a te. A presto.
A presto. Okay, so you get the gist of it. So that would be my 1 minute, and then I also stop. I don't do more than that because for me, this is okay. I have learned this dialogue now. I need to digest it, and then next day I will go back to it because you will realize your brain, once you have experienced that conversation, your brain will work with it, and the next day it will already become far more fluent. And because you need it to practice, because it's now linked to your real world experience, you will actually realize this has been memorized. Whereas if I had now practiced just the passé composé, so like the past tense of andare in isolation, I would not have been able to construct that dialogue. So now, if I was unsure, for example, I was unsure in my own practice now about the prepositions like al parque. I didn't know that, so I might now want to look up later on in the day, okay, in 5 minutes, what are the prepositions to say I'm going to a location? And then tomorrow, when I have the same experience again, I will know, okay, it was like that because, and so on and so forth. So I will look up the grammar according to what I need for that kind of 1 minute real dialogue I had. And that actually boosts memory because your brain will relate to it as something, oh, I actually need those sentence structures. I need those prepositions to be able to master that conversation. Okay, that was exercise number 1. And as always, drop me a comment how that relates to your own life. So that was the 1 minute talk challenge. Now, the second one is called the I need drill. The I need drill is actually drilling situations or practicing for situations where you need something. Like, for example, I need help. In any new language at A1 level, you need to be able to say things that you need. For example, expressing I need help, expressing can you help me? Can you help me out here? What does this mean in the language? How do you say come si dice in italiano? How do you say in the target language something? Or where do I find the bathroom? Or these are simple questions to actually survive, and they need to be drilled first and they need to be spoken so that whenever you are in a situation of needing something, they just come and they help you to survive, even though you don't have all the other intermediate or experienced level information about the language. So, practicing in 1 minute per day simple questions like that, like for example, I would probably my first go-to sentences, my first three go-to sentences in any new language would be, what is it called in your language? Number two would be, I need help, or can you help me, or can I have? Let's actually practice that. So let's illustrate with Italian. By the way, those of you who are studying Italian as well, join me on this channel. I have my own goal is in 2 years, I want to know on a intermediate level, I want to be able to speak in, so that would be called a B1 or B2 fluency. I want to be able to speak Italian. It's such a beautiful language. So let's switch this on again. Hi again, ChatGPT.
Ciao, come posso aiutarti oggi?
So I want to learn three sentences for survival. So first one is, please teach me this. Can you help me, please? Or could you please help me? And then the second one would be, can I have something? And then the third one would be, where's the bathroom here?
Of course, here are the Italian phrases for those English sentences. 1. Can you help me, please? Può aiutarmi, per favore? 2. Can I have? Posso avere? 3. Where's the bathroom? Dove il bagno? Feel free to ask if you need more phrases.
Okay, thank you. So I will now ask you, I will use one of these sentences to ask you for your help. And the può aiutare, please help me pronounce it first rightly, because that's the polite form, right? Because I learned the puoi aiutare is the informal and the può aiutare is the formal one. Can you help me pronounce the formal one, first of all? I want to repeat it 3 times.
Of course, the formal way to say, can you help me please, in Italian is può aiutarmi, per favore. Here's the pronunciation breakdown. Può, pronounce può, aiutarmi, per favore, per favore. So altogether, può aiutarmi, per favore. Please
Okay.
repeat it.
Okay, so I would say, how do I introduce the sentence? It's scusi, if I'm on the formal level.
To say excuse me formally in Italian, you can say mi scusi. Here's how you pronounce it. Mi, pronounced scusi. So altogether, mi scusi. You can use mi scusi to politely get someone's attention or apologize. Give it a try.
Ok, mi scusi, per favore, può aiutarmi?
Perfetto, hai pronunciato tutto molto bene. Continua così e non esitare a chiedere se hai bisogno di altro aiuto.
Grazie, grazie mille. Okay, so you get the gist. This is what you need to do drills with. 1 minute per day drills are actually not about the grammar. They are actually about repeating and drilling these basic questions. And then when you need to look up why, for example, in my case now, I looked up the grammar by asking ChatGPT, what is the difference between poi and può, the formal and the informal. So I get this in the context of knowing what is the difference between the formal and the informal way of asking that question. But the focus is really on that question. So A1 fluency would be to ask simple questions to get first contact with people who speak the language on the A1 level and in the target language already. So what you would not want to do is go to a person and ask them, do you speak English? Because it's not a good icebreaker at all. If you at least make the effort of speaking already that kind of, can you help me in the next language? If they want to then propose to you another language, fine. You can always then say, no, I want to practice. And you can practice a sentence for saying, I want to practice my Italian. Please, can we continue? But having these questions ready actually helps you to reach fluency, because then probably also in that context, you will make mistakes. And that's great, because with these mistakes, you will basically then progress. Okay. And the third exercise I want to give you is the shadowing fluent speaker challenge. So what you can also set yourself to is, if you have, for example, in your study routine, an element where, I don't know, some 5 minutes per day, you listen to an interesting podcast of something that is one of your hobbies, you might set yourself the challenge for 1 minute of this listening exercise to actually always put the video, the podcast on pause and repeat what the speaker is saying in the target language. So that is called shadowing because you're basically practicing the pronunciation. So the person is saying something, pause, you say the same thing. That is actually this practice of articulating what you want to say in your target language so you get more comfortable with hearing yourself as well in the new language, because one of the most frequent motivation killers is that then when you, for example, when you engage with people in the target language, that you hear yourself in the new language and you feel like, oh God, I sound terrible, I can't even pronounce it, and then you hold back. So we don't want that. So the shadowing 1 minute per day can help you to simply practice playing that instrument of the new language. So these were the 3 exercises. Drop a comment how that resonates, and also drop a comment if you have other similar exercises. Let's share our experience. And as always, thank you so much for watching and join me in the next video.